First contact and broken rules. The red sun of Proxima Centauri cast long shadows across Nova Haven, humanity's first extrasolar colony. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the viewport of the colony's central hub, watching children play in the artificial park below. The biodome's transparent ceiling displayed a simulated Earth-like sky, a small comfort for the 2,000 colonists who called this place home. Beautiful, isn't it? Dr. Marcus Chen appeared beside her, his research tablet tucked under his arm. Hard to believe we've been here for only 5 years. Elena nodded. The children adapt the fastest. My daughter Sophia barely remembers Earth now. 10-year-old Sophia Reyes chased her friends through carefully cultivated grass, her dark hair streaming behind her. The first generation of humans born among the stars would have a different perspective on the universe than their parents. They would grow up knowing humanity was not alone. First contact had come 3 years after the colony's establishment. The Galactic Consortium, a loose alliance of 7 spacefaring species, had detected the human settlement and sent representatives. The meeting had been cautious but peaceful, opening trade relations and cultural exchange. Humans were welcomed as newcomers to the galactic stage, though they were considered primitive by consortium standards. Commander, Marcus's voice dropped to a whisper. We need to discuss what the geological survey found. Elena's expression remained neutral, but her eyes hardened. My office, 10 minutes. In the privacy of her office, Marcus activated a holographic display showing geological scans of the planet's crust beneath the colony. We've confirmed it. The entire valley sits on top of the largest deposit of stellarite ever discovered. Stellarite, a crystalline material that could absorb, store, and amplify energy at unprecedented scales. The consortium valued it above all other resources, using it to power their faster-than-light drives and energy weapons. The colony had been built on a fortune without knowing it. How many people know about this? Elena asked. Just the survey team and now you. We were careful to encrypt all findings and keep it that way. The treaty gives us exclusive mining rights to resources on this planet, but I don't trust the consortium to honor that if they discover the scale of this deposit. Elena studied the scans. Have the children found any surface samples? Marcus nodded. Small fragments in the eastern creek bed. We've been collecting them quietly. Good. Let's keep this quiet until... The colony's alert system interrupted her, its urgent tone filling the room. Commander Reyes to the communications center. Priority message from the consortium vessel in orbit. Elena hurried to the comm center, Marcus following close behind. The large view screen showed the sleek silver form of a consortium diplomatic ship that had arrived 3 days earlier for routine trade discussions. On screen, Elena ordered. The image shifted to show Ambassador Kryllik, a Vandurian with silvery skin and large faceted eyes. His species were known as the diplomats of the consortium. Commander Reyes, Kryllik's voice was smooth. Our sensors have detected unusual energy signatures from your colony. Protocol requires us to investigate any potential hazardous materials. Elena maintained her diplomatic smile. Our scientists are conducting standard research. Nothing hazardous, I assure you. Nevertheless, we request permission to send a scientific team to verify consortium safety regulations. I understand your concern, Ambassador. Send me the details of your proposed inspection and I'll review them with my team. After the communication ended, Elena turned to her security chief. They know about the stellarite. Put all security personnel on alert and institute protocol. Guardian, I want all children under special protection. You think they'd go that far? Marcus asked, his face pale. I don't know, but the consortium has a reputation for taking what they want, and I won't risk our children. Despite the precautions, no one in Nova Haven was prepared for what happened 3 days later. The attack came during the colony's night cycle. 6 consortium ships, smaller than the diplomatic vessel and bearing no official markings, slipped through the defensive perimeter using advanced cloaking technology. They landed at 3 different points around the colony's perimeter. Elena was awakened by the security alarm. Report, she barked into her communicator. Multiple breaches. They're targeting the residential sectors. specifically the children's quarters. Elena's blood ran cold. Sophia. She grabbed her sidearm and ran toward the family quarters, but it was too late. By the time colony security mobilized, the attackers had already taken 18 children, including Sophia Reyes. Surveillance footage showed armored figures in unmarked consortium battlesuits, methodically sedating and collecting the children. They had specifically targeted children who had been playing near the Eastern Creek, children who had potentially handled stellarite fragments. The attack was over in 17 minutes. The ships vanished back into orbit before the colony's defensive systems could lock on. In the command center, Elena watched the final footage of her daughter being carried onto one of the alien vessels. Her face was a mask of controlled fury. "They've disabled our long-range communications," her communications officer reported. "We can't contact Earth directly. They're blocking our distress signal," the security chief added. "But we managed to get a drone away. It should reach the relay station at Alpha Centauri in 3 days." Elena nodded, her mind calculating. They'll regret this. They have no idea what they've just done. The Vandurian ambassador had disappeared with the diplomatic vessel, maintaining the pretense that the consortium had no knowledge of the attack. But the raiders' equipment and tactics told a different story. This was a sanctioned operation. Disguised as the work of independent actors, Marcus approached Elena, his face ashen. "I accessed their communication logs before they cleared out. They're taking the children to a research facility in the Epsilon Eridani system. It's a consortium black site. How many days at maximum burn?" 5, with our fastest ship. Elena's eyes hardened. "Prepare the Valkyrie for immediate launch. I want volunteers only, people with combat experience. And send a complete record of what happened here with the Alpha Centauri drone. Make sure Earth knows exactly what the consortium has done." As preparations began, Elena addressed the colonists. "They have taken our children, believing us too weak to respond. They don't understand humanity yet. They don't know our history, our resolve when our young are threatened. The consortium has broken the most sacred trust between species, and they will learn why every civilization should fear the wrath of human parents." In the dark reaches of space, aboard a consortium research vessel, 18 human children were placed in stasis pods for transport. The lead scientist, a Vandurian named Zeltrak, examined preliminary scans of their nervous systems. "Fascinating," he murmured to his assistant. "Their neural pathways show unusual adaptation to stellarite exposure. No degradation at all. We must understand how their physiology manages this." His assistant, a younger Vandurian, looked troubled. "The Council will not approve of these methods. Taking sentient offspring violates our most basic protocols." Zeltrak waved dismissively. "The Council need not know the details. This is authorized by Director Varix himself. These humans are newcomers. They have no standing in the consortium. By the time any protest reaches the Council, our research will be complete." What Zeltrak didn't know was that in a shadowed corner of the consortium council chambers, Elder Thaxil, the oldest living member of the governing body, was reading an ancient text, a warning passed down through generations of consortium leaders. The faded script described the only other species that had ever attempted to take human children. That species no longer existed. The wrath of humanity. 2 days after the abduction, the emergency drone reached Alpha Centauri. Within hours, Earth received the full report of what had happened at Nova Haven. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Admiral Helena Torres stood before the United Earth Defense Council, her voice steady as she outlined the situation. "The consortium has taken 18 of our children for experimentation. They believe their technological superiority protects them from consequences. They are wrong." The council chamber was silent as she continued. "Operation Lioness begins in 6 hours. Every military vessel within reach of consortium space has been activated. We're deploying the Phantom Fleet. The Phantom Fleet, humanity's secret insurance policy. 8 warships with technology that the consortium didn't know humans possessed. Stealth systems, advanced weapons, and drives that could match consortium speeds. Earth had been preparing for potential conflict since first contact, developing these ships in secret while presenting a less advanced face to the galaxy. "The consortium believes they know our capabilities," Admiral Torres said. "This misconception ends today." Meanwhile, in consortium space, Elder Thaxel sought an emergency meeting with the High Council. The ancient lorekeeper was rarely seen outside the archives, and his appearance caused a stir among the younger council members. "We have made a terrible mistake." Thaxel's voice quavered with age but carried the weight of authority. "The humans, their children, have been taken." High Counselor Varix, a Vandurian with political ambitions, dismissed the concern with a wave. "A minor scientific expedition, nothing more. The humans are newcomers with limited technology. Any protest will be handled through diplomatic channels." Thaxel placed an ancient data crystal on the central table. "You do not understand. There are rules older than the consortium itself. Universal constants we have observed across all advanced civilizations. And the most important is this: species that survive long enough to reach the stars all share one trait: they protect their young at all costs." The crystal projected images of a devastated world, its cities in ruins. The Krelvar were once the dominant power in the Orion Arm. 4,000 years ago, they took human children for study. They had technology that could bend gravity and harness the power of stars. The humans destroyed them in 17 days. Varric stared at the images, his confidence wavering. This cannot be accurate. Our historical records are incomplete," Thaxel finished, "because the victors write history and the Krelvar left no historians. Their civilization was erased so thoroughly that most believe they never existed." Before Varix could respond, alarms blared throughout the council chamber. "Unidentified vessels have entered consortium space," announced the security system. "Multiple incursions detected at borders." At the consortium black site in the Epsilon Eridani system, Sophia Reyes woke in a sterile white room. 5 other children shared the space, all from Nova Haven. They had been separated into groups for the experiments. "They keep asking about the shiny rocks," whispered Elias, an 8-year-old boy whose parents were geologists. "They made me hold different ones and measured something in my brain." Sophia nodded. Her mother had taught her to stay calm in emergencies, to observe and gather information. "They don't understand why we can touch them safely," she said. "That's why they took us." "Are they going to hurt us?" asked May, the youngest at 6 years. Old Sophia took her hand. "No, my mom will come for us, all our parents will. Humans don't abandon their children." The door slid open and Zeltrak entered with 2 guards. "Subject Reyes," he said, consulting his tablet. "You show the strongest neural adaptation to stellarite exposure. Come with me." Sophia stood, giving the other children a reassuring nod before following the Vandurian. As they walked through the facility, she memorized the layout, noting security measures and potential escape routes. Her mother had trained her well. In the laboratory, Zeltrak prepared various instruments while explaining the procedure to his assistants. "We'll map her neural activity while exposing her to progressively larger stellarite samples. The human ability to handle the material without neural degradation could revolutionize our energy technology." Sophia sat quietly on the examination table, watching everything. When Zeltrak approached with a neural scanner, she asked calmly, "Do you know what happens when humans lose their children?" Zeltrak paused. "An emotional response, I assume. Many species experience grief." "Not grief," Sophia said, her eyes suddenly older than her years. "Rage, the kind that reshapes worlds." Before Zeltrak could respond, the facility's alarms blared. On his communication device, a frantic voice reported, "Director, human vessels have entered the system. They've already disabled our outer defenses." The Valkyrie, Nova Haven's fastest ship, had arrived. Commanded by Elena Reyes, it had made the journey in 4 days instead of 5, pushing its engines beyond safety limits. But it wasn't alone. 2 ships from the Phantom Fleet had arrived simultaneously, appearing seemingly from nowhere as their advanced stealth systems deactivated. On the bridge of the Valkyrie, Elena received confirmation. "We have confirmed 18 human life signs, In the facility. Minimal consortium defense forces present. They weren't expecting visitors. Elena's voice was cold steel. Begin the extraction. No mercy for anyone who resists. Every child comes home. While the Valkyrie engaged the facility's defenses, the Phantom ships deployed special forces teams, humans trained specifically for extraterrestrial combat. They breached the facility at 3 points simultaneously, using technology that cut through consortium security systems like paper. In the consortium council chamber, chaos reigned. Reports flooded in from multiple sectors, human vessels appearing throughout consortium space, targeting military installations and communication hubs. The attacks were precise, disabling rather than destroying, but the message was clear. Humanity could strike anywhere. How is this possible? Demanded Varix. Their technology should be decades behind ours. Elder Thaxil watched impassively. They showed you what they wanted you to see. A species that survived its own violent history to reach the stars does not do so without preparation for the worst. At the research facility, Zeltrak frantically tried to evacuate with his research data. The human assault had overwhelmed the security forces in minutes. He reached the landing bay only to find himself face to face with Commander Elena Reyes. "Where is my daughter?" she asked, her sidearm aimed at his center mass. "Please." Zeltrak raised his hands. "This was authorized research. We meant no harm." "Wrong answer," Elena said, her finger tightening on the trigger. "Mom!" Sophia's voice echoed across the bay. She ran toward Elena, followed by the other children, all being escorted by human special forces. Elena embraced her daughter fiercely, then looked back at Zeltrak. "You're lucky she's here to see this. It means you get to live." She nodded to the special forces team. "Take him. The consortium council should see exactly who authorized this atrocity." Within hours, all 18 children were safely aboard the human vessels. The research facility had been thoroughly downloaded and then destroyed, leaving no trace of the consortium's stellarite research. In the council chamber, Varix faced the wrath of his peers as human vessels maintained position around key consortium worlds. A transmission from Admiral Torres played on the main screen. "You have violated the most sacred trust between species," the Admiral stated. "The abduction of our children will not stand. We demand the following: immediate identification and punishment of all responsible parties, from the lowest soldier to the highest official, a formal apology to the families, and recognition of human sovereign rights to all resources within our colonial territories." Elder Thaxil addressed the council after the transmission ended. "We must comply. The humans have shown remarkable restraint. They could have destroyed multiple worlds in retaliation. Their capabilities clearly exceed our intelligence reports." Varix, now stripped of authority, watched in silence as the council voted unanimously to meet the human demands. His private communications with Zeltrak had been exposed, revealing his direct authorization of the abduction. 1 month later, representatives from the consortium stood before the United Governments of Earth. The formal apology was broadcast to every human settlement. A new treaty was signed, recognizing human sovereignty and establishing clear penalties for any future violations. As part of the agreement, a new protocol was added to the consortium's first contact procedures, a warning to be shared with all spacefaring species. The first rule of interspecies relations: never threaten human children. On Nova Haven, life gradually returned to normal. The stellarite deposits were now openly acknowledged, with human-controlled mining operations beginning under heightened security. The children who had been taken received special counseling, though many, like Sophia, showed remarkable resilience. "What did you tell them?" Elena asked her daughter one evening as they watched the sunset through the biodome. "When you were in that place?" Sophia smiled. "I told them that humans always come for their children, that it's the one thing everyone in the galaxy should know about us." Elena put her arm around her daughter. "They know now." In the vast archives of the consortium, Elder Thaxil added a new entry to the ancient warnings. It detailed the human response to the abduction of their children, the precision of their military strike, and the restraint they had shown in victory. Future generations of consortium leaders would understand why the first rule of the galaxy existed: don't attack the human children. Ever.